Undead space robots need undead space terrain?
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and we're going to take a look at the latest and greatest terrain from Kromlech. That's bitsofwar.com. They sent us over a big box of this stuff, and it's really cool because it's all flat packed. It's easy to get, from Kromlech, who is over in Europe. But I like this range. It's called Nekropolis, and of course, it is a little tougher to find terrain like this for, like, if you want to build a Necron table, for example. It's hard to find stuff like this, and you could actually probably use it maybe for models as well, because there's definitely some cooler resin kits out there that you could use this as alternates for as well, that I think would be pretty neat. So let's take a look at how the kits come, how they're priced, and what they look like all put together on the tabletop. So over on their website, bitsofwar.com, you can find all sorts of great stuff, all their resin bits, all their terrain bits, which is kind of technically offered through Tabletop Scenics, which you can get to right here, of course, as well. But it's all laid out really well. I just knew what I was looking for, so I kind of typed in NEK to go after Nekropolis right here, and then you can see all of the great products that they've got for this. Now, this is all HDF, laser cut board, basically, so it's gonna smell like a campfire when you get it and you open it up and you're like, oh, memories. But all these kits are pretty cool. We've dealt with some of this stuff before, and it was all very exacting and super nice, and it's kind of a hobby within a hobby to get it together. But you can see they got over 20 kits right here that you can use on your tabletop, and like I said, some of these kits you can probably use as another kit. So this is the Annihilator Beamer, and it gives you an idea of exactly how big it is with this little Kromlech Orc Duder right here. So it gives you a good idea about how big it is, if you were to compare it to, say, another kit right here that, goes for a lot of money, I suppose. A little bit of labor here to put it together, and you're good to go for 60 bucks. But it does come, and I wanted to show you this too. We're gonna, when we unbox these, we'll show it to you. But it does come with resin bits. I think this is the only one that comes with resin bits. Didn't actually get this one, so I don't know for sure. But they've got laser cut acrylic in here too. So all those little energy duders right there, you don't have to paint that. You can put them on last, paint all the stuff separate, get it all like nice and kind of weathered metal if you want, and then boom, you're good to go. I don't feel like this is a really bad deal, because it's hard to find. If you're like, I want evil space robot terrain, where do I get it? I either convert it out of a whole bunch of other stuff, which is cheap for sure, way cheaper than this, which is maybe the solution for a lot of people. But I think having these kits and being able to modularize it and kind of make some monoliths, some glyphs, use something as maybe a terrain piece, use something as maybe an actual kit, is pretty neat. Now, when it comes to shipping, the shipping ain't that bad either, because look, check it out. We added 4 things here. It's only 25 bucks for these big, heavy HDF packs, right? They do have a free shipping option over $180. So I only had to add one more thing here, and it would be free shipping. So $30 shipping for this much stuff from Europe. And I've gotten a lot of stuff from them. It gets here pretty quick. They ship it through FedEx. It comes through, hits customs, usually pings a day, and then boom, delivered right to us, usually in about a week. Sometimes it goes about 10 days, depending on the weekend. So I feel like for that kind of money, for that kind of shipping time from Europe, pretty dope. Because if I bought something from the West Coast, chances are it would take just as much time as well, right? So yeah, I feel like it's a win-win there. So, check that out when it comes to all this. Now, for the actual offerings, like I said, there is a ton of stuff in here. So you've got larger kits that will go together. You've got this Tesla core, which is really neat. Could possibly use it as a monolith. We've got one here. We'll put it together. This portal, you can definitely use it for a lot of blocking terrain. It's 50 bucks. And one of my buddies had an idea to put some LED lights in one of these, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty smart. And then you can paint it up with like some fluorescent, some of the airbrush fluorescent paints, and it would literally glow. That would be pretty neat. So you can get kind of crazy with this terrain and have a lot of fun with it, and you can use these modular sections here. They call them stairs, but then you can start building up apexes and stuff, and kind of make your own like broken apart pyramid or semi-pyramid, whatever you're seeing in your mind's eye right there. You could really kind of visualize it and then actually create it too. For 20 bucks, I mean, it's it's kind of like right in the middle. Like it's almost that just right price point. It's like, man, I could make that out of something, but let me just buy this kit because boom, you know, I spend whatever, an hour time, 2 hours of time for that, something like that. It's basically a box to put it together. I'm good to go. That's kind of how I'm feeling it at this point. So let's get it on the table here, take a look, and then actually build them up. Okay, so we got all these out on the table here. They're all flat packed. They come with like some really cool illustrations here, folded instruction manuals on the inside. I'll show you one of these here in a second. We'll open it up. So they've got, you know, 22 different products. Like I said, they didn't send them all to me, but it kind of gives you an idea of the things you can make here and all the like stepping stones, sidewalls, actual stairs here. And looking at this, I think you could actually fit slotted base, or you know, these bevel bases into here, so you could actually place your miniatures, which is a key feature because a lot of people, when they make this stuff, they actually forget about things like that. And then here's that Tesla power core that I think is pretty neat. And it definitely has got nice flat areas here and some areas of energy, so you could actually put some miniatures on there, I think. I'm not exactly sure. And then there you can see the acrylic as well, and it comes with that instruction manual. And then here's a couple of the other ramps, so if you don't want to do the stairs, and then you've got the apex here, so you can kind of build all these up together. Now I like to think I saved the last one, the best for last here. So let's take a closer look at this. I noticed it earlier that you know, the way they laser cut these, some of the insides are going to actually pop out, and you're not actually going to use that stuff. So kind of a bonus, you'll have little pieces of a cool looking acrylic just kind of hanging out, and you can do whatever with it, I guess, at that point. Now there is a protective thing in the back here, so make sure that you try to peel that off if you have to. But I think for the most part, these are going to go in one way and you're not going to see it, but I'm actually not 100% sure. But we'll find out here in a second. And then some of the kits here, you can see like the good detail on it. Now there isn't a lot of like texture. Now there is good detail, sure. And you know, these are probably flat because you assemble something onto it, probably those pieces, to give it a three-dimensional look. But whenever you're looking at, you know, stuff like this, it seems like it's easy to pop out, but don't kind of fall for that. You can pop it out in a lot of cases here, but what you're really going to want to do is always use a knife, because you're going to get these like little spots right here that just kind of catch. So I think for the most part, you know, just take a really sharp blade and then just, you know, either on a cutting mat or something like that, just go through and try to lightly trace any place that you're trying to punch out, just so you get a nice flush cut, and that these things will go together well. Because when you're gluing and all that other sort of stuff, you know, you don't want to have those little nubs knocking each other around and things out of place. So this is pretty cool kit. There's a lot going on here, obviously. I mean, it's flat packed and it seems pretty simple, but you know, once you get in here and you start going through the instructions, which are full color, by the way, and I like how they do the different colors, so you can kind of tell where things go. And because believe me, if this was all shaded, that would be very difficult to kind of use. But there's lots of assemblies in here, so you know, something like this is going to take a hot minute. So kind of you want to slow down and just kind of nug it out and make sure that everything fits before you start using glue. That's always the key. Here are the assembled kits all laid out, which, you know, I think are pretty cool. They're a lot bigger than I thought they were. So we have the privilege of having some painted Necrons in the studio here from Castlebrush, another great Polish company as well. And you can see how they size up. Pretty incredible to these actual kits. So you can definitely use them for a lot of line of sight blocking terrain and things like that. The acrylics, you will actually see the back, so you're going to need to peel off the backer, but lots of extra parts left over, which is really cool. And then they got these power coils on the side right here too, and then lots and lots of detail on this one. It's still actually hollow, so it doesn't, you know, it's not like super heavy or anything, which is pretty neat for sure. These I thought were cool because you can kind of assemble it any way you want. Like you can put the topper there, or you can have some stairways going up and just have it, you know, with like this open area up here to do battle on. And what I really liked, which I kind of mentioned before, was that these models would fit in these slots just like that. Now that's a little sharp of a slot, but then you've got these gradual steps over here, which I thought were pretty neat, because, you know, you could have a squad of duders back there,
there all stepping down and stuff. Whereas, you know, if you tried to put one dude on the top here with that size base, well, he would just fall completely down, and that would be no good. So dry brush wise, you know, you just hit this with, I don't know, just a quick base coat and some dry brush. You could do like some washes and things, or some fluorescent paint and a detail. If you really wanted to, you know, even set up some LED lights, like I think might be happening to this one, but that might take a little bit more time than we have here today. This Tesla power core is actually pretty cool. It's nice and ginormous, so I think you could use it for a lot of line of sight blocking terrain, you know, especially in the middle of the table and stuff. And it would just look great, and especially painted up, I think would be pretty neat. And you don't have to glue these acrylic bits on either. You know, if you wanted to paint it all up and then glue them on later, like, you know, the old school kind of looking Necrons or something like that. But, or if you want to paint them separately, you can match it with all the glyph work and everything like that. And, you know, there's also some nice flat spots up here to put miniatures on. You can't quite put them down here, but you can put some stuff across the top right there. And then, of course, on the portal as well, you can do a lot of cool stuff. Now, let's grab some vehicles here and see exactly how those stack up. So there's a Lehman Russ tank. So just to give you an idea, definitely going to provide cover to that from the pyramid, actually from all of these bits. And then, you know, if you weren't convinced on how cool these look, here is a Space Marine and a Death Corps, just to give you an idea of how these guys look on top of this terrain. I mean, it's crazy how cool, once you zoom out, that this is actually pretty functional. And these are modular, so you buy them in sections, so you don't necessarily have to, you know, you can do whatever right there. If you just want like a, you know, a thing going up in the middle or something like that, just like a little speed bump, you could do that too. That seems more practical, that you could split these up and do, you know, have two different sections of terrain if you really wanted to. But either way, the sky is kind of the limit when it comes to the modularity of these kits over here. And then the larger kits too. And like I said, if we had the larger beam cannon, well, that would be its own kit in and of itself, because I imagine it would be at least this tall, judging by the scale there. So that is it for this one. Thanks y'all so much for watching our unboxing build of all the new great Nekropolis terrain from Kromlech. That's bitsofwar.com. Make sure you check them out. But before you go over there, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our future videos.